Okay, everybody, so we're going to go over the Seurat drawing homework. So I'm going to pull that up. So the reason why I gave you that big lecture was because we really want to think about materiality with this drawing. So you're going to be making some drawings that are copies or studies of Seurat's. Now, here the word study would mean like a copy versus like studies when you do them in preparation for a drawing might be more like sketches. So as always with the English language, it can be used in many different annoying ways. I was thinking about this earlier today because I turned in a proposal for an installation at an art space. And I was thinking about how we project something, but we might make a project and it's the same spelling, I hope. But anyway, so here studies mean like a copy of it. All right. So creating studies is like a really important part of art education. And it's something which art students have been doing for, honestly, millennia, really. Um, I'm thinking here about artists that would study marble sculptures in Greece. Particularly the Romans would make copies of marble sculptures. And so that's what I mean by, this is a really long tradition. So I've given you the PowerPoint lecture here that I just gave in case you want to download it on by yourself and review the images. There's some great Seurat drawings in the PowerPoint that I put in there for you. Don't use any of the detail shots of the drawings. Make sure you use the whole drawings. But most of them I just found online by going to Google and typing in Seurat drawing. Now, the issue with doing this, I've given you some actual websites. The issue with going to Google and typing in Seurat drawing is you're going to get tons and tons of things which are not drawings by Seurat because it's Google. Okay, so if the image you find that you like can also be printed on a phone case, probably shouldn't use that. Okay, I think in these cases it's always best to go to an institutional page that you can really trust. So I've given you the Met, Duke University, and the MoMA. Okay, but there are wonderful Seurat drawings out there that aren't in those collections. I'd like you to go and look at. It's just a matter of just ensuring that it really is a Seurat. So if you're not sure, one of the things you can do is take the title of the drawing that you found on one website that you like, put that title into Google and see if it comes up on another website. And that way you can really sort of go in and tell whether or not you're really looking at a Seurat because of how many of the websites it picks up on. Making a study of a Seurat drawing is a classic art education project. And so it wouldn't be uncommon for there to be multiple student versions of this assignment online already of people who completed something similar. Okay, so be cautious, make sure it's really a Seurat. So you're going to use graphite crayons, which are the thick, large sticks, your graphite pencils to create two drawings by post-impressionist artist George Seurat. And then you're going to use your compressed charcoal, which is like that really dark charcoal, to recreate two other drawings by Seurat. So you're making 4 drawings, 2 in graphite and 2 in charcoal. Make sure that the work you select is a Seurat drawing and not a recreation of a Seurat or somebody in a factory somewhere who's making art to sell. And there's nothing wrong with that. Lots of artists make a living that way. It's just that that's not what we want to do right now. The drawing is all about tonality. So it's not about contour, it's not about edge, it's all about value and tone. Okay, so here is the example of his mother embroidering that I used in the lecture. And one of the key parts of understanding Seurat's process in terms of materiality is the way that the paper exists and reacts to the application of the material. Okay, so we're talking about very little defined hard edge here and a lot of edges that dissolve into one another. These are some student examples that I have for you of successful renderings, successful studies by students. Are they perfect? No. Are they working towards the idea of tonal-based drawing? Yes, they are, okay? And so like when you discover your Surveys that you want to pick, you're going to need to pick 4 of them. Or if you like, in terms of investigating materiality, you could just pick 2 drawings to recreate and recreate the same drawings with graphite and with charcoal and compare the relationship between the two and what you learn as a difference between the materials that you employed. So here we see, some student examples that you can look at. Notice how the student drawing, you can see how the texture of the paper is coming through. That texture is the tooth. That's why I'm having you draw these on the pastel paper. The open white of the paper being exposed here is affecting the way that you see value. The material provides the drawing with an opportunity to breathe. Do your best to find an appropriate balance between the graphite and the charcoal and the paper. Pay attention to how Seurat achieves this himself. Okay, so here's some discussion for you in terms of process. So you need 2 finished Seurat studies in graphite, 2 hours of work each, so 4 hours. 2 finished Seurat studies in compressed charcoal, another 2 hours each, so another 4 hours, so 8 hours total. Graphite pencils, graphite crayons you need for 2 of them, and then your compressed charcoal for another 2. You can only make tonal drawings. Linear marks can be used the way Seurat used them, but you may not use lines to show edges and forms. You're going to use your pastel paper, the 12 by 9, and each drawing should be the full 12 by 9. Leave the drawings in the pad so the protective sheet remains to protect the drawings. That's a great tip. And you can also fix the drawings, okay? So 4 drawings, a total of 8 hours of work, 2 drawings in graphite and 2 drawings in charcoal. And I do think actually it'd be really great to draw the same 2 Seurat drawings in graphite and the same 2 Seurat drawings in charcoal and comparatively assess the difference between the 2 of them. If you have any questions, reach out to me, and I look forward to seeing your work.